Some burdens become so familiar that you stop noticing their weight. You carry them for so long that they no longer feel like something you are dragging behind you. They become part of your frame, part of your identity, like bones beneath your skin, holding you together while quietly breaking you apart from the inside. My name is Jim Walton. I'm 51 years old. My net worth sits somewhere north of $40 million. Depending on what the market decides to do on any given day, I have a beautiful wife named Sandra, two incredible teenage sons who make me proud in ways I struggle to put into words. A stunning home in Connecticut that looks like it belongs on the cover of an architectural magazine. From the outside, my life appears flawless, successful, stable, complete. The kind of life people spend decades trying to build. But for nearly 30 years, I have carried out one secret inside my heart, one name, Michael Rubin. And despite everything I have accomplished, every dollar earned, every milestone reached, every blessing I have been fortunate enough to receive, I have never been able to let him go. Michael entered my life when we were both 22 years old. We met during our junior year of business school. He sat beside me in a corporate strategy classes and asked to borrow my notes after missing a lecture because of a family emergency. A simple request, nothing special, nothing memorable. At least that's what I thought at the time. But somehow one conversation became another. Study session turned into dinners, dinner turned into hours of talking about things neither of us discussed with anyone else: business, politics, philosophy, family, dreams, fear, the future. The kind of conversation that only happen when two people feel completely understood by each other. The kind of connection that sneaks up on you before you realize what's happening. Somewhere in the middle of all those nights, I fell in love with him. Not gradually, completely, and without warning. The problem was that Michael was straight, and I knew it. And I knew something else too. If I ever told him how I felt, there was a very real chance I would lose the most important friendship I had ever known, so I stayed silent. I buried those feelings as deeply as I could, locked them away, pretended they weren't there. Over time, that love hardened into something permanent, something I learned to live around, like an old injury that never truly heals but hurts just enough to remind you it's still there. Life moved forward. Michael and I started a business together after graduation, Rubin and Walton Investment. What began as a small partnership eventually grew into something far bigger than either of us had imagined. Over 2 decades, we built a company we were genuinely proud of. At 32, I married Sandra, and despite everything I had never said out loud, I truly loved her. Not as a placement, not as a disguise, not as a lie. I loved her honestly. The love was simply different from what I felt for Michael, but it was real. And together we built a wonderful life, a meaningful life, a life filled with laughter, memories, and purpose. Yet, no matter how much time passed, Michael remained my business partner, my closest friend, and the one person I could never have. The one person I never stopped wanting. Then one evening, everything changed. It happened over dinner. Michael arrived at a restaurant downtown with a woman I had never met before. The moment she walked into the room, she seemed to bring light in her, with her. Her name was Mary. She was warm, confident, effortlessly charming, the kind of person who made everyone around her feel comfortable within minutes. But what caught my attention wasn't Mary, it was Michael, because Michael looked happier than I had seen him in years. There was something different about him. something lighter, more alive. As the evening went on, he couldn't stop talking about her. At one point, he looked across the table and said she was the most remarkable person he had ever met. And when he said it, I believed him. A weeks later, he asked me to meet him for coffee. During that conversation, he told me something personal. Mary was a trans woman. She had transitioned a year before they met. Michael explained that loving her had challenged many assumptions he once had about gender identity. He said it had expanded his understanding of people in ways he never expected. I listened quietly, but inside me something shifted, something profound, something dangerous. The entire drive home, one thought kept circling through my mind, a thought I couldn't silence no matter how hard I tried. If Michael could fall in love with a trans woman, then maybe there was a version of me he had never truly seen. A version that he might be able to love. Not Jim, not the business partner, not the lifelong friend, someone else, someone softer, someone hidden. Someone whose voice I had spent decades ignoring. Her name was Catherine, and until the moment I had never spoken her name aloud. She existed only in quietest corner in my mind, a presence I had always pushed away before she could fully emerge. But that night, after everyone in the house had gone to sleep, I sat alone in my car inside my garage. The darkness surrounded me, the engine was off, the house was silent, and for the first time in my life, I whispered her name, Catherine, just once, barely louder than a breath. Yet the moment I said it, something inside me